Day! It's your last literacy lesson of this week. I've seen some fantastic writing and some beautiful picture drawing and some sentences I was amazed at, so well done. So today I'm going to read you the story, so the whole book today of Lost and Found. So I hope you're sitting comfortably. Lost and Found. Once there was a boy, and one day he found a penguin at his door. The boy didn't know where he had come from, but it began to follow him everywhere. The penguin looked sad, and the boy thought it must be lost. So the boy decided to help the penguin find its way home. He checked in the Lost and Found office, but no one was missing a penguin. He asked some birds if they knew where the penguin came from, but they ignored him. Some birds are like that. Whoops. The boy asked his duck, but the duck floated away. He didn't know. That night the boy couldn't sleep for disappointment. He wanted to help the penguin, but he didn't know how. The next morning he discovered that penguins come from the South Pole. But how do we get there? He ran down to the harbour and asked the big ship to take them to the South Pole, but his voice was much too small to be heard over the ship's horn. So, together, he and the penguin would row to the South Pole. The boy took his rowing boat out of the cupboard and they tested it for size and strength. They packed everything they would need, and together they pushed the rowing boat out to sea. And that's where we got to the beginning of the week, so let's see what happens next. They rowed south for many days and nights with the boy telling stories all the way. The penguin listened to everything that the boy had said. They floated through good weather and bad, when the waves were as big as mountains. Until they came to the South Pole. The boy was delighted, but the penguin said nothing. Suddenly it looked sad again as the boy helped it out of the boat. It says, "Welcome to the South Pole." The boy said goodbye and floated away. But as he looked back, the penguin looked sadder than ever. Pages are stuck together. It felt strange to be on his own, and the more he thought, the more he realised he was making a big mistake. The penguin wasn't lost. He was just lonely. Quick as he turned the boat around and headed back to the South Pole as fast as he could. At last he reached the pole again. But where was the penguin? The boy searched and searched, but he was nowhere to be found. You see what's happening, that the boy's rowing round one side of the iceberg. And the penguin's in the umbrella going the other side. So they just keep missing each other. Sadly, the boy set off for home. There was no point telling stories because there was no one to listen except the wind and the waves. But then the boy saw something in the water ahead of him. Closer and closer he got until he could see. You see in the distance. Who do you think it's going to be? The penguin! And there's that lovely picture that we wrote about yesterday. So how do you think they're feeling now you know it's happened? What's happened? Happy? Yeah, they might be excited to see each other again. And so the boy and his friend went home together, talking of wonderful things all the way home. What a lovely story. I enjoyed that one. It's one of my favourites. Now, you've got a challenge today. So next week, we're going to be learning more about penguins. Now, we're not going to be basing it on a story. We're going to find out facts about real penguins. So what I want you to do now is I want you to have a little think about all the things that you want to find out about penguins. So you might want to find out how old they live for, or where else do they live? Do they just live at the South Pole, or do they live in different countries? You might want to find out what they like to eat, or how they sleep. Do they have a bunk bed? I don't know. So make sure you're writing questions. And when you write your questions, make sure you're doing a question mark, okay, at the end. So what do penguins eat? And then you can do a question mark. So a question mark looks like that. Okay, right, let me put this behind it so you can see. So a question mark, so we go over and straight down and then a dot at the end. So a question mark. So what do they like to eat? Question mark. Where do they live? Question mark. Do they sleep in bunk beds? Question mark. I can't wait to see your questions, and I hope you enjoyed my story. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Bye-bye for now.